Bowl each of the last 4 seasons and 6 times in total. What's been your key to consistent production?
Man, I try and tell everybody, look, I go back to Arizona in the offseason. I reset not only the mind, but the body, too. I wait till it gets that summertime heat, throw on the sweats, and really get it out the I would say out the mud, but there is no rain in Arizona. So I get it out the dust.
Hey, I respect it, bro. Okay, let's talk about another dude who models consistency, Drew Brees.
Oh.
He's accomplished about everything you can accomplish in a game of football, been your fearless leader for so many years. If you were him, if you were Drew Brees, what would you do? What you got left to prove?
Hopefully, I said another Super Bowl. But honestly, with all the records that he holds, I'm sure he's going to go back to, with his fam and figure out what's best for him. I know what's best for me is knowing that I have Drew Brees at quarterback. But, he's already a legend in so many stats. He's a first ballot Hall of Famer, and whenever he decides to hang it up, I'm sure he's already secured his broadcasting deal whenever he decides to hang it up, like, a lot of these guys have. So whenever he does decide to call it quits, he'll do so knowing that he's one of the best to ever do it.
Now, you talked about another Super Bowl, but I need a locker room answer right now. Nobody's watching, just you and Acho. We all just chilling right here. What's the biggest reason your team is not preparing for a Super Bowl right now? Remember, locker room answer.
We talking about this year because it doesn't matter that we beat the entire NFC South twice. We sweeped everybody in the NFC South, and then to lose the third Tampa game, the most important Tampa Bay game. We lose that. It makes the other games not important. At the end of the day, you lose to a team that you embarrassed and beat, the first and second time. We got embarrassed the third time. To lose to them by 10 points, to have 4 turnovers, to, them put up 21 points over 66 yards against our defense, that hurts. When you have a short field, you've got to at least, make them kick the field goal. They ended up with 21. That's on us. That's something that we have to reflect on, and I'll be doing. I've done that for the last 2 weeks. I'll be doing that for the next 6 months.
Now, you did a great job of telling us what happened. We saw it. But tell me why it happened. Come on, big dog. I need you to, grab one of those in Arizona, a mudslide or something with me, big dog. Tell me.
Look, that's what I'm saying. I can't tell you why. You talk about any given Sunday.
Okay.
A lot of things. Look, it's like you have a checklist. Coach is going to come up with a checklist of these things can't happen for you to lose a game. Did we think we were better than them? Sure. Did we know we were better than them? Absolutely. But they came up with hope. You have 4 turnovers. You have, a special teams return that gets called back. There's 5 chances for us to completely stomp them out, and we didn't do that. So why? We didn't do enough. That's why.
That sounds like a team leader. That sounds like a leader right there. I like that. All right, Cam, let's talk about this. You played both the Chiefs this year and you played the Bucs this year. Which team would you rather face? Or let me simplify it. Which offense is more dangerous in your eyes?
Clearly during the regular season, it didn't matter who we faced. But postseason-wise, the Bucs clearly. They're headed to the Super Bowl. It is what it is.
But what about the Chiefs? Chiefs or Bucs?
He heard the question.
Chiefs have the Super Bowl too now.
I hear you. I hear you. No, honestly, that's a hell of a matchup. You can't go against 5 rings on one hand versus probably 2 on the next. I'm gonna say probably 2.
6 rings.
Yeah.
Man, okay. Look, I'm sorry he over here badgering you as a guest on our show. You sure you don't want to say the Chiefs? I caught Cam like I'm a vet. I know what I said. But look at this situation here, man. During the regular season, once again, Drew Brees, the great, got injured again. And we saw you guys go to Taysom Hill, and there was some conversation, I don't know if it turned into controversy, over why not play Jameis Winston more. I had a theory that was like, maybe they've seen enough from Jameis Winston and it's great to the point where they want to keep all of that talent and everyone seeing that talent in-house. But why didn't we see Jameis Winston go out there and produce in the interim when Drew Brees was down?
Rarely is it above my pay grade, but this is above my pay grade. When you talk about what Jameis brings to the locker room, the energetic personality that Jameis is, his ability to throw that deep ball. And I played against Jameis, 5 straight years, 10 straight times, with him being a part of the Bucs, and he's going up top pork chop, as he called it. You know what I'm saying? Like, he's going deep. he just threw for 5,000 yards his last year over Tampa. And again, let him tell it. He's going to be the best quarterback if he eliminates some of those 30 interceptions that he had 2 seasons ago. But when you did see him, you saw how well he was able to transition and accurately throw the ball and continue with what we know of Jameis Winston. So if up top says, hey, this is our guy, then I'm more than ready to ride with my guy.
I respect it. Now, I hate to do this to you, bro, because y'all have accomplished so much, but let's go back. When you think about the Minnesota Miracle, you think about the bogus PI call, you think about the Vikings beating y'all in overtime, then you somehow think about the Bucs loss after you dominated them twice. What comes to mind? Do you feel like y'all underachieved, or do you just feel like any given Sunday?
The culmination of both of those. I mean, you talk about a Super Bowl bust every year. Nobody ever goes into, or at least, correction, our locker room never goes into any season, thinking, oh, we have a chance to make the playoffs. No, we have a chance to make a Super Bowl run. So any year that we fall short of the Super Bowl, of course, is just that. It's falling short of our expectations. Granted, we haven't won a Super Bowl in the Saints building in 12 years. We still think we're a higher than average playoff caliber team that has a chance each time we touch the playoffs to hit the Super Bowl. So that's why it's always we falling short of our expectations.
Okay, 94.5 sacks, 3-time All-Pro, 1 first team, 2 second team, 6 Pro Bowls, 10-year vet. What do you got left to prove?
100 sacks. What do you mean? In my mind, I'm really 93.5 sacks in 9 years. I don't really count. Look, they try to relegate me to just first and down my rookie year. 93.5 sacks in 9 years makes me feel a whole hell of a lot better. 94, I've got a lot left. I'm probably 20.5 sacks away from the Saints record, and then we'll talk about it after next year.
Man, I'm gonna cut up my career like that. 3 years, 30 sacks. That's how I did it too. I like that math right there. But being real, guys climb the mountain different ways. Some guys are chasing the goal in terms of Hall of Fame status, which your numbers put you in that conversation. And some guys like, look, I'm just gonna run as far as I can, and then when I'm done, I'll look back and see what I've accomplished. Talk about you in terms of thinking of the Hall of Fame or your future goals. You put yourself in that position yet? How do you feel?
In the offseason, I allowed myself to do so. During season, I'm just worried about the next game. The next game is the most important game because it is the next game. Offseason, I look back like 7.5 sacks, in my career, 94.5 sacks, 51 batted balls. I consider myself anything but just a pass rusher. I think of myself as a run-stopping, complete defensive end. I play first, second, third, fourth down. In the offseason, I get a watch film, break down the 1,000 snaps that you play during the year and really get after what I need to improve upon for the next year. When it comes down to it, I'm always just trying to elevate play. So whatever gets me there. And then whenever I walk away from this game, hopefully, we all don't get to walk away from this game on our own accord, but hopefully I get to do so. When that time comes, I'll look back at the career and see what happens.
I know you think you're a Hall of Famer because I think you're a Hall of Famer with those kind of numbers, certainly looking up high from where I am standing right now. But, man, a lot of guys miss the boat in terms of thinking of next in the now. And you have a podcast, an amazing podcast, where not only do you have tremendous content, but tremendous understanding of the game and the game of life. Tell us about your podcast and how you're liking that experience.
Man, I got to team up with my brother. My brother from another mother. We came in together 2011 draft class, Mark Ingram, Alabama's first Heisman Trophy winner. All the accolades, Pro Bowler himself. We walk in and, it's big trust levels. So, we got to just, me and him wrap this offseason, was like, let's put something together. It's probably because I just missed my dog. You know what I'm saying? He left us 2 years ago to go to Baltimore. I was like, man, we got to do something together so we can always keep our off seasons right. And threw together the Trust Levels podcast and just, started chopping it up with our friends. What's better than a podcast when it's not, when it's not syndicated? It feels, it's authentic. So as you know what I'm saying, when you have a personal relationship with the guy you're working with, it's so much more fun.
What makes your podcast different than the other ones? Because, the market's saturated right now with a lot of conversations. What makes y'all's conversation so unique, so special?
Between me and him, I don't know who else have played together for 8 years, lived together for a little bit. When I first got to New Orleans, the ability to rely on each other, feed off each other's energy. It's not something that was created or fabricated. This is something that's been real since day one. So you feel that authentic vibe.
Respect. Well, Cam, appreciate you, brother.
I got one more, big dog, because I got a connection to Cam Jordan. Obviously. NFL football player. Your father, tremendous player, Ivy Leaguer. Yeah, there you go. Let them know about the Ivy League. Representing.
Big legacy five.
And you know what's great about that, as we're going to see Patrick Mahomes, who is a second-generation professional athlete, just some of the nuggets that you were able